Alright guys, I've got a trick I just learned here. I was planning on notching this here with a torch, and I've got this total cut 2 7/8 pipe guide here, and what I did was I laid a piece of angle iron on the pipe in order to get me a center line mark so that both ends will line up. I put this on here like so, like that, so that I can mark with a Silver Streak marking pencil here. And I was going to come back and cut this out with a torch, and I decided I would try cutting this with this Milwaukee Fuel bandsaw I just got, just to see how it would do. And turns out it works perfectly. I know that people do this with like chop saws and hole saws on like a jig and stuff, all sort of stuff. So I thought that I would try this here. And as I say, it works really well on this size pipe here. Try to get you guys in here a little better angle somehow, maybe so you can see good. I don't know how well that's going to pick up right there. Let's see. Let's try that. You can see the mark there. So I've got this rested up on the trailer here. Guys, I think that's going to be the ticket right there for notching this stuff. Get a piece of pipe and hold up there and see what she looks like. I think that's going to work really, really good. No reason you can't weld that up. It's a pretty good fit. I believe that's better than you'd get with a torch. If you're off a little bit, you know, you can weld up a little bit of a gap. I think it's going to work pretty good. I didn't even have that in mind when I bought this, but I think it's going to work really well for that. If you're working on a trailer like this, working with pipe, building a pipe fence, I think that bandsaw is going to be a pretty sweet tool to have. Alright guys, so I've got this set up on the trailer on the other end down there where it's got to go. And I've got my pipe guide set up here, and I'm just eyeballing down where the notch is at to the outside of this tubing right here to kind of get it to line up. As you see, I'm not really going to measure it probably. I'm just going to line it up by eye and mark it and then whack it off. So that pretty well looks lined up to me. I may need to come out with it just a little bit like that right there. I'll take measures in the shop there, but that's how we're going to do it. And so that means this is a little bit long. Better to be a little bit long than a little bit short though. Pipe guide center back up, and we'll finish marking that all the way around there. Alright, we got our mark now. We can chop that off. Alright, we got her up here where she needs to go. flip it over and cut our other side here. Maybe I need to cut this side here just a touch more. Trim this side off a little bit more. All right. A little bump with a sledgehammer and that'll go right in there, I believe. A piece of pipe here. I'll get it centered where it's got to go. I got off a little bit and I got a gap there that I'll have to fill up. But for the first try doing that, that's not terrible, I don't suppose. Alright guys, so the second one I put in here and cut turned out a lot better. I got a lot better fitment here. The first one I just got off on. That's all there is to it. It takes a little bit to get the technique and trying to hold the saw at an angle and follow it around like that. But I got it knocked in there. It's a snug fit. I can even stand on it walking across here. I did get off just a little bit on my line with my pipe guide, but it's a lot better than the first one. It won't be no problem at all to fill that in. And like I say, that's going to work out pretty well, I believe. So I'm going to cut the rest of them the same way, and shouldn't have any grinding to do that way. And this one here fit good on this end. It's just I got off on the other end down there. And I think using that wider angle iron, marking on the end of it like I did, that I may be not perfectly true in line from one end of the pipe to the other. That's part of my issue right there. But it's going to make this trailer a lot stronger doing this, adding these cross members in here. I think my dad built this 30 years ago. I think these are on 36 inches. Alright guys, so what I'm trying to do, I've got my mark on here as you see. I'm going to start right here and try to follow it down to at least the halfway point, and then hold the saw straight from there, and hopefully I can get a good cut on this. So it's a little bit difficult, but you can see I followed the line around right there. It's a little bit difficult to get that started at the right angle and get it to follow around like that. But it beats the torch, I believe. Time for another battery, I believe. I think you're going to need a little bit bigger of a battery. These are only 5 amps. This one wasn't all the way charged whenever I swapped it out. So, got to hold this up there, put my guide on it, and get another mark. Alright guys, I'm getting better. That sucker right there is money on both sides, all the way around. No gap, nowhere. So that's the third one I've done. The first one was the worst, second one was better. Third one is only money on both ends. Awesome tool right there. It just takes a little bit of technique, kind of getting used to using it. This blade is still holding up real well. I don't see any missing teeth on it, and I hadn't put any kind of lubricant on it. And I've been cutting for a good while. I cut all the stuff up in pieces first. I can even stand on this. That's how good it fits. As you see right there, all the way around, both sides. Man, if I do that good on the other 3, that'll considerably cut down on welding time. But as I say, the first one I messed up. I'll just have to kind of put 2 beads right there to fill the gap up on it. But that right there is looking good. A lot more cross members going in there. Alright guys, I had to swap blades. This one here finally reached the end of its life. Probably would have got more cuts out of it cutting straight than, you know, trying to notch pipe, because it's kind of binding that blade the way I'm angling it down in there, kind of following it down in there. All the teeth are still there. It just got dull where it wouldn't cut. So that's the end of that one. I put on a fine tooth blade over here that I ordered, and so far it seems to be doing pretty good. It's a little finer teeth count, as you see, and my battery went dead again, so I had to swap that out. These 5.0 batteries aren't quite enough for this, I don't believe, if you're doing a lot of cuts like I am and a lot of pipe notching. But this blade here doesn't grab quite as hard. It does make a high-pitched squealing noise I don't really care for. But anyway, following the pipe around right there, as you see, and set you guys up here, check out how this other blade here I got is cutting. It's still doing very well, as you see there. I'll have to order me some more blades. I just ordered a package of 3. I wasn't sure how many I was going to need and how well this is even going to work, but I think it's working very well. I'm going to order some more blades and a couple different pitches, because that right there will work real well for doing stuff like this and cut thinner metal, and the other pitch blade will work better on some thicker stuff. Alright guys, I got all of them in there. All of them fit pretty good, or really good, except for the first one that I messed up on. So no big deal, I suppose. I went ahead and notched these top rails right here. That fine tooth blade does a little bit better on this notching, or at least it seems like it does. Seems like it's a little easier to kind of control and guide, and it probably has something to do with, you know, the more I did, the better I got also. But I got everything, got all of them sitting in there, got the top notch, and the next step is I'm going to have to get this in the shop and do some welding and get the angle iron notched out with a torch and get those welded on here, or tacked, and then the top rail set in place and all that. But as far as the saw goes, very happy with it. I'm going to have to buy some more batteries, probably go with a little bigger size. I was planning on going maybe some 6.0s or 8.0s from Impacts anyway. So I'll probably get a couple of those, and I think it'll be a great tool to have around for doing stuff like this. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.